What's up, adventurers? My name is Platinum Phoenix, and welcome back to Ocarina of Time. Last time, we became a happy math salesman and actually got a lot of upgrades in the process. And this time, we are going to be taking our Ocarina of Time and opening the Door of Time, finally fulfilling the plan that we made with Zelda so long ago. There are 3 hollows and an inscription here. Ye who owns 3 spiritual stones, stand with the Ocarina of Time and play the Song of Time. That is how the inscription reads. Link, is that... It's that legendary blade! The Master Sword! Excellent work. As I thought, you held the keys to the Door of Time. You have led me to the gates of the Sacred Realm. Yes, I owe it all to you, kid. Link! Wake up! Link, the Chosen One! I am Raru, one of the ancient sages. Ages ago, we ancient sages built the Temple of Time to protect the entrance to the Sacred Realm. This is the Chamber of Sages inside the Temple of Light. The Temple of Light, situated in the very center of the Sacred Realm, is the last stronghold against Ganondorf's evil forces. The Master Sword, the evil destroying sword, that you pulled out of the pedestal of time, was the final key to the Sacred Realm. Link, don't be alarmed. Look at yourself. Look, Link, you're big now. You've grown up. The Master Sword is the sacred blade that evil ones may never touch. Only one worthy of the title of Hero of Time can pull it from its pedestal of time. However, you were too young to be the Hero of Time. Therefore, your spirit was sealed here for 7 years. And now that you are old enough, the time has come for you to awaken as the Hero of Time. Well, you understand your destiny. But remember, though the door of time in the name of you open the door of time in the name of peace, Ganondorf, the Gerudo King of Thieves, used it to enter this forbidden sacred realm. He obtained the Triforce from the Temple of Light, and with its power, he became the evil King of Evil. His evil power radiated from the temples of Hyrule, and in 7 short years, it transformed Hyrule into a world of monsters. My power is now have only little influence, even in this sacred realm. Namely, this Chamber of Sages. But there is still hope. The power of the sages remain. When the power of the sages is awakened, the sage's seal will contain all the evil power in the void of the realm. I, Raru, am one of the sages, and your power to fight together with the sages makes you the hero of time. The hero of time chosen by the Master Sword. Keep my spirit with you. Find the power of the other sages and add their power to your own. You received the Light Medallion. Raru the Sage adds his power to yours. Find the other sages and save Hyrule. Link, we're back in the Temple of Time, but have 7 years really passed? It looks like you won't be able to use some of the weapons you found as a kid anymore. Let's get out of here. I've been waiting for you, hero of time. When evil rules all, an awakened voice from the sacred realm will call those destined to be sages who dwell in the 5 temples. One in a deep forest, one on a high mountain, one under a vast lake, one within the house of the dead, one inside a goddess of the sand. Together with the hero of time, the awakened ones will bind the evil and return the light of peace to the world. This is a legend of the temples passed down by my people, the Sheikah. I am Sheik, survivor of the Sheikah. As I see you standing there holding the mystical Master Sword, you really do look like the legendary hero of time. If you believe the legend, you have no choice. You must look for the 5 temples and awaken the 5 sages. One sage is waiting for the time of awakening in the forest temple. The sage is a girl I am sure you know. Because of the evil power of the temple, she cannot hear the awakening call from the sacred realm. Unfortunately, equipped as you currently are, you cannot even enter the temple. But if you believe what I'm saying, you should head to Kakariko Village. Do you understand, Link? Alright, so a lot just happened, but I actually want to focus on what Navi said. She said that now that we are all grown up, a lot of our items and equipment actually don't work anymore. And also, they rearranged all of my stuff. I have to rearrange it again. But what specifically does not work for us now are the fairy slingshot, the boomerang, magic seeds, or magic beans, the Deku sticks, and any math that we have. What does still work for us are bombs, which I am actually going to put on the Y button for right now, Deku nuts, which I will put on X, our spells, which Din's Fire is good, so I'll put it on 2, and then anything we have in bottles still works, aka milk for healing or bugs and stuff like that. That is all of the equipment we currently can use now that we are big. Even though it doesn't really make a whole ton of sense that we can't use a boomerang or a slingshot now that we are bigger, I guess that we're just too buff to pull back the slingshot. But with that being said, let's go ahead and head outside. And welcome to adulthood. It kind of sucks. So Ganondorf has taken over since we have been gone the last 7 years, and one of the best examples of that is Castletown. It is in complete ruin. It is horrible around here. As you can see, it's just riddled with redeads all over the place. And we have ways to fight them, but we have really no reason to, so we're just going to leave. It's just, you can see it's very decrepit and things have gone bad over the last 7 years. And even when we go out to Hyrule Field, you can see it's real gloomy out here, especially near the castle where Ganondorf is at. If we go into first person view, you can see like the ring around the Death Mountain is, I guess, enraged. And it's just, things have gone badly, but I think first off, I want to head towards Lon Lon Ranch to show that as we get a little bit farther away from the castle, it just gets nice out again. But I need to bring up something. The only enemies out here in Hyrule Field are these Poes now. There will no longer be Skull Children or Hi-Hats out here. And it's really weird because you would expect more enemies to appear out in Hyrule Field now that Ganondorf has taken over. But it's like they just disappeared and went to like the temples, I guess. And it's just the Poes that are out here. But with that, let's go ahead and head into Lon Lon Ranch. And the first thing I want to do is actually play the sun song to make it nighttime. Because at night, you can see light is shining through these windows. So if we go into this building that had all the cuckoos in it, you can see that it's changed a little bit. The cuckoos are still very much in here, but there's now a desk here that's kind of in the way where it used to be farther over. And if we go upstairs into what was Malon's room, you can notice that the wallpaper is now changed, as there is actually wallpaper in here now. Also, the shoes are different, where Malon's shoes are no longer there, and there's now these elf shoes, and there's like pants thrown everywhere, and you probably have noticed that Ingo is now over here on the bed, and if we talk to him, not jump on the bed, talk to him, Z, stop that song, I mumble. And I can actually show what I was looking for last time we were in this room, because it was the time skip that was actually making it so I couldn't find it. So if we cut here where that picture, or where the drawing on the wall was of Malon and Talon, we can now see another one of the posters for Skyward Sword is in here, which again is just a little detail that you might not notice if you're just running through here, because you never really have a reason to come up here. Besides, obviously, the one rupee that we got. If we are quiet when we roll out here at night, we could see Malon here singing Epona's song in the dead of night. Please keep this a secret from Mr. Ingo that I sing this song. and she doesn't seem to recognize us. I mean, it makes sense. We are 7 years older now. But that's basically all we can actually do here at nighttime. So we need to make it daytime again. And during the daytime, we actually want to go into the horse stables to once again, if we run around here, see Malin. I ran around the long way, apparently. Oh, a visitor. It's been a long time since we've had a visitor here. Where did you come from? Since Ganondorf came, people in the castle town have gone. Places have been ruined and monsters are wandering everywhere. Mr. Ingo is just using the ranch to gain Ganondorf's favor. Everyone seems to be turning evil. But Dad, he was kicked out of the ranch by Mr. Ingo. If I disobey Mr. Ingo, he will treat the horses so badly. So, there's nothing I can do. If only I could play their favorite song for them. So, that gives us a bit more context. That people in Castle Town have fled, that Talon is no longer here and was kicked out by Ingo, and the only reason Malin is staying is actually to keep track of the horses because Ingo would mistreat them if it was just him here. So, let's actually see what he has to say. There are some people in Kakariko spreading rumors that I cheated Talon out of the ranch, but don't be ridiculous. That guy Talon was weak. I, the hard-working Ingo, poured so much energy into this place. I don't want any strangers like you saying anything bad about me. Listen, the great Ganondorf recognized my obvious talents and gave the ranch to me. I will raise a fine horse and win recognition from the great Ganondorf. Say, young man, do you want to ride one of my fine horses? If you pay 10 rupees, you can ride. Do you want to listen to how to ride? Approach the horse quietly and stand by its side. Press A to mount up. Use the joystick to make it run. Once it starts running, press A to tap it with the whip. It will speed up. When you want to jump over a fence, accelerate and hit it head on. If you try to jump over a fence at an angle, the horse won't like it and it won't jump. After the horse comes to a complete stop, press A to dismount. Have fun. Thank you so much. So, coming in here, you can actually see all of the different horses, and you can ride any horse that you want in here. But if you went to the ranch and talked to Malin as a child, you may remember that we have a certain song that a certain pony really likes. So let's go ahead and try to play Epona's song. It's always so cute how she just runs to the song. But after she runs to you, you can just climb up to her. And also, you could tell Epona apart because she is the only horse around here with a white mane and a white tail. But as he said, we could run around, we could tap A to go faster, we could jump over. Epona, please, I'm trying to show off. I said we could jump over these barriers by hitting them head on, if we can actually do that here. There we go. And what we actually need to do is, while we are riding, we need to walk over to Ingo before time runs out and talk to him while on the horse. So we just need to target him and talk. When you want to dismount, stop and press A. Hey, young man, do I know you? I just felt as though I've seen you somewhere before. If you use L targeting, you can talk to me from horseback. Are you ready to go home so soon? Yeah, I'm actually done. And now what we need to do is actually the exact same thing again. We just need to go back in and ride a horse and talk to Ingo one more time. So we are going to do the exact same process. Go in here, pay our 10 rupees, almost get run over by a horse as we play Epona's song. He's just frozen there, mean mugging the camera. And hop on Epona's back and talk to Ingo one more time. Also, if you need to go backward, you can push backward on the joystick and Epona will slowly walk backwards too. You're getting better. How about a little race with me? One lap around the corral with that horse. Let's make a little wager. Say 50 rupees? So, Ingo is challenging us to a horse race. And what we need to do is just kind of beat him in his own race. You will see carrots on the bottom screen. Those are what will happen if you hit A, you will whip the horse and it will speed up, and those carrots tell you how many times you can actually do that. It's recommended to hug the wall as much as possible and savor the carrots until you get to the last stretch of the race. Shoot! If the great Ganondorf found out about this humiliation, hey you! How about another race? If you win, you can keep that horse! So, he challenges us to another race. It's the exact same race. So, instead of showing you what this race is, I actually want to do a side-by-side comparison of what the race looks like if you pick any horse other than Epona. Because technically, you could talk to him and he challenges you to whatever horse you're riding. So if you jump on another horse, you can ride another horse into this race. But based on the comparison that I just showed you, you could probably tell that Epona is much faster than other horses, and this race requires you to use Epona and to have Epona's song to even have a chance at beating Ingo. And I know this from experience because I spent probably a good 3 hours trying to win this race when I first played this game, and I had no idea what I was doing wrong until I realized that there was a song called Epona's Song to actually race with Epona. But what's up with that horse? Is that Epona? How did you tame that wild horse right under my nose? I was going to present that horse to the great Ganondorf, but I bet it on a race and I lost. Shoot! As I promised, I'll give the horse to you. However, I'll never let you leave this ranch. So, like you said, we now have Epona. Technically, we own Epona. But we can't leave the ranch because he has blocked our only exit. Or at least that would be the case if we were not riding a horse and he had not taught us how to jump over obstacles. So if we just do a lap around the track and have enough carrots to where we can angle and... All right, I messed it up. What we want to do is I want to run over here a little bit and get my carrots back. And right around here, I'm going to turn Epona so we are facing the gate, and we're just kind of going to run at it full speed and hope that we are straight enough. So, that little animation we just saw, that one you could only see for the first time, or when you first get Epona, because it requires you to jump over the gate that Ingo's closed. And if we go back into Lon Lon Ranch real quick, actually, you can see that the gate is no longer closed. But there are also other ways for you to escape the ranch after Ingo closes the gate. In fact, all of these spiked walls are ways you can escape the ranch, and each and every one of them has a separate animation for jumping over the wall. And it's one of my favorite little details of the game because there's no reason for it. They could have very easily done like 1 or 2 animations, one for like jumping over the gate towards Ingo and one for jumping over all of the walls. But they went the extra mile and did animations for each and every wall. So I'm just going to show you all 3 of them right now. But with the animations gone over, I want to talk a little bit more about Epona because she is our new fastest mode of transportation in Hyrule Field, as she moves much faster than you do when side hopping or rolling. And you can just see how fast we are going. She also works as a lawnmower, as if you run through the grass, she just cuts the grass. But basically, by using the carrot, she moves so quickly through the field. And the only downside is that during the night, we are going to see by running around that there are foes that appear like they did when we first came out here. But we have no way of actually fighting them while on horseback because we have no ranged weapons as of right now. But with that being said, she told us that we need to head over to Kakariko Village, so I think that's what we're going to do next time. So, I hope that everyone enjoyed watching. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Next time, we go into Kakariko Village to see what has changed over the last 7 years. But until then, happy adventuring.